Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving right into an urgent, hidden crisis that is completely reshaping how we think about personal security and the incredibly innovative infrastructure that the state of Texas is building to fight it. Today, we're looking at the Texas Council on Family Violence, or TCFV, and their Future Safe initiative. We all know that domestic violence threatens physical safety, right? That's a tragic reality we've been battling for decades. But think about this for a second. As our entire lives have migrated to our smartphones and laptops, we have to ask ourselves, what actually happens to survivors when those everyday devices are weaponized against them? Well, the reality is literally terrifying. We are seeing a whole new frontier of tech-facilitated abuse. Abusers are now using AI-generated deepfakes for harassment, alongside incredibly sophisticated digital stalking. They're essentially turning the devices right in our pockets, the very tools we use to connect and get help, into invisible weapons. So, to understand how we combat this, here is our roadmap for today. 1. The rise of tech abuse. 2. TCV's AI Survivor Safety Council. 3. The infrastructure of safety. 4. Advancing corporate ESG goals. And 5. Funding a safer tomorrow. Let's get into it. Section 1. The rise of tech abuse and why it's such an invisible threat. The Texas Council on Family Violence is the only coalition in Texas entirely dedicated to ending family violence. And from their statewide vantage point, they are seeing firsthand that survivor safety just isn't only physical or financial anymore. It is overwhelmingly digital. You can't just change the locks on a physical door these days. You literally have to change the locks on your digital life. Moving to Section 2, TCFV's AI Survivor Safety Council, and how they're leading the way in AI. To fight back against this tech abuse, TCFV launched the AI Survivor Safety Council. And let me be clear, this is not just some slow-moving think tank. It is an active, rapid response initiative built to tackle emerging tech risks head-on. By taking this aggressive stance, they're absolutely positioning Texas as the national standard for protecting survivors in our automated world. But here's the real game changer. This is a perfect example of using AI for good. The council doesn't just talk about threats, they empower survivors to take action. A survivor can use a secure tool developed by TCFV to independently audit their own digital footprint and then, step by step, lock down their devices from tracking. It completely hands the power right back to the survivor. Okay, Section 3, the infrastructure of safety, the invisible backbone making all this happen. Think of survivor safety kind of like a massive iceberg. Above the water, you see the visible outcome, right? A survivor finding safety, getting a protective order, securing their digital identity. But beneath the surface, there's this huge invisible infrastructure. We're talking complex data systems, deep legal expertise, and advanced tech pipelines. That invisible backbone is exactly what makes the visible safety even possible. This infrastructure is absolutely crucial. Because look, a small grassroots shelter out in rural Texas just can't afford to hire an in-house tech policy expert to fight a complex digital stalking case. So, TCFV steps in. Their infrastructure acts like a shared utility, providing that high-level legal and technical expertise, using data to pinpoint survivor deserts where risk is highest, and directly equipping local advocates with the digital tools they need. To put that into perspective, let's look at some rapid-fire numbers from 2025. This infrastructure handled 879 complex technical assistance requests from local programs. That's nearly 900 times a local advocate hit a brick wall, and TCFV provided the breakthrough. In that exact same year, this system made sure 704 high-risk victims were safely referred across 7 domestic violence high-risk team sites. That is highly targeted, data-driven intervention, exactly where the lethality risk is at its absolute peak. And on top of that, it facilitated 313 training opportunities. Thousands of advocates were equipped with cutting-edge tools to respond to modern abuse. The scale of this operation is just immense. Which brings us to Section 4, Advancing Corporate ESG Goals, or the corporate why now. You know, domestic violence doesn't just stay at home, it bleeds right into the workplace. For corporate ESG leaders, investing in TCFV isn't just charity. It's a super pragmatic workforce stabilization strategy. Abuse directly drives up absenteeism and employer healthcare costs, and it hurts retention. By supporting survivor safety, companies are literally investing in the financial wellness and stability of their own workforce. A brilliant example of this in action is the partnership with Amplify Credit Union. They stepped up to provide fee-free banking and fraud protection for local family violence programs. What does that actually mean? It means overhead costs for those nonprofits shrink, so way more donor dollars go straight toward mission-critical, life-saving services. It's a perfect match of corporate capability and nonprofit need. All right, our final section, Section 5, Funding a Safer Tomorrow and the 2027 Priorities. TCFE has a highly targeted $300,000 strategic funding goal for 2027, and a critical $90,000 of that is explicitly earmarked for innovation and emerging AI needs. That money goes straight to funding the AI Survivor Safety Council and building those vital digital defense resources, ensuring Texas stays one step ahead of abusers. As Dr. Lisa Eversole, the Director of Fund Development, so powerfully puts it, the systems simply must evolve as fast as the abuse does. Why? Because survivors cannot wait, and Texas has the power to lead. It's really about building a completely future-proofed safety net. So, the core takeaway from today's explainer is this: we have to move beyond one-off charitable giving. True, lasting impact comes from investing in the actual systems, the data, and the tech infrastructure that protect families at scale. We need to fund the engine itself, not just the paint job. I want to leave you with this one provocative question. As abuse evolves and completely weaponizes our digital world, someone has to build the defenses. We all want survivors to find safety, but will you step up and invest in the hidden technological infrastructure required to actually make that safety a reality? Thanks for joining me on this explainer today. I really hope it gave you a clearer picture of this new digital battleground.